So the hottest topic I think in performing arts right now is about new conversations, new collaborations, and new relationships. Whether it be with local government, with each other, with other arts organisations in our communities, even with our audiences. I think it's about our ability to be the nucleus for the atom and engage our entire community in arts and culture. So my concern for the coming year is about funding for arts organisations and also the pull on arts organisations' resource and capacity that's already pretty stretched. So what I'm really excited about for the coming year is all the new conversations and new opportunities that we have. I'm really excited about planning the next Tech West, the next WA Showcase. I'm really excited about planning and providing some new professional development opportunities for regional venues. I'm excited about planning the final Boost tour, and I'm really excited about trying to get funding for the new Circuit West touring strategy.
The hottest topic for me is how we can encourage and enable regional work to be created in our community. For me, the audiences and the local practitioners are one pull. So the audiences from one show are going to be the practitioners for the next. And that's how we're developing an interesting audience and practitioner base for contemporary work, for contemporary practice. This is a theme I'm seeing nationally. So I'm seeing organisations like Norpa in Lismore and Mirragong Theatre Company and Bathurst Memorial Entertainment Centre. We've joined that mix of parties. And what we want to see is the flowering of work that's created in our community in Mandurah and the Peel region and in Rockingham that's going to take on and also enable us to present the very hottest work from around the nation at the same time. And that for me is very much a pathway that we've been developing over the last 3 to 5 years. And later on, I'm a bit more excited about that in the future. My concerns for the coming year are very much based on the current funding environment. It's pretty tricky. WA seems to be, on some measures, broke. But at the same time, money's still available for certain things, So what I think what came out of WA Showcase for me of most import was John Nell's implore for us to be working together. So collaborating. So when times get tough, we need to get closer. We need to put down that, we need to share data. We need to be sharing resources, working harder to work with each other. So that's the way through, I think. But it's still going to be quite difficult over the next couple of years, finding resources both nationally and in a state-based setting. What I'm most excited about in the coming year is the expression of what I've been talking about of local work. It's our Maxima company and the new work they're creating for the WA Regional Arts Summit, Fearless, and seeing where that company goes. A couple of those performers have gone to NICA in Melbourne and we've brought them back. So that's really exciting. It's around Riptide and what they're creating. It's around our new disability company. It's around commissioning works from visual artists in our foyer spaces that are based locally. And just seeing how that expression kind of rubs up against the international work.
The hottest topic in the arts and culture environment, as we see it, is the perceived increases that we need to engage more with Aboriginal performing arts. From our company perspective, overall, it's the general funding climate, I guess. I also think that one of the other topics that's quite hot at the moment is the engagement of the wider Australian community in Indigenous performing arts as well. Our concerns are mainly surrounding the ever increasing costs associated with the actual development, presentation, production and presentation of theatre in this country. And the apparent lack or decline in box office income in putting on, theatre that's relevant, culturally appropriate and current. What we're really excited about in the coming year is two major developments, or three major developments that we've got occurring. We've got a co-production happening with a local major performing arts company, which I can't announce yet, unfortunately, but that will be happening in presentation at the State Theatre Centre in August, and a development of a project that discusses the trauma associated with the use of meth and its ramifications to the wider community, using hip hop, or hip hopera as we're calling it, working title at the moment. And also we're in the second year of, or third year actually, of a major co-development with Bell Shakespeare on a translation or an adaptation of Macbeth into the Noongar language.
So the hottest topic in the arts and culture environment for us right now, I think, is the idea that we are starting to understand, and I'm talking about the entire sector rather than just Country Arts WA, I think we're starting to understand that we don't tell our story very well, and that we don't convey the sort of impact that the arts and culture can have very well at all, but we are starting to understand that we don't do that very well. And I think now we're really making moves as a sector in the right direction to address that. So my concerns for the coming year are mostly around the kind of boring machinery of government issue. We're uncertain about what the changes to the new government and the lack of money is going to do to the new department that we have to partner with. And we're also concerned about the future of the Royalties for Regions Creative Regions package. So that sort of uncertainty is making long-term planning difficult, and you know, it doesn't look as though we're going to really have definitive answers around that until probably the end of September. So it's just causing some anxiety and some issues around planning. In terms of the coming year, my excitement is really kind of a bit related to the concerns, because I do sense that there is a bigger sense of collaboration and a bigger desire to work together towards things, because I guess of some of the anxiety and uncertainty around what's happening to us as a sector. I really see, I mean, I would perhaps look at the Chamber's campaign during the last election campaign, where the sector really came together and talked as one voice. And I think that has carried on to a certain extent. And there are people talking much more about partnerships that don't necessarily involve transfer of money, but are around the shared common vision that a lot of us have, and we need to be working together rather than competition with each other. And so I think that as a response to the uncertainty and the lack of money around, I think we're maturing as a sector, and we're actually trying to work together a lot more.